So in today's video we're going to go over washing soot from a fire off the walls of a house. See, this room got it pretty bad. Show you where at the very top I started rubbing away at it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop and make a video of this so I can show people what I'm doing. I'm going to do a comparison. On the very left, what we have is clean. Works okay. What I really like is this ZEP product. This stuff is pretty good. It doesn't really cost that much to do. There's also the Lysol product, which is really good for getting rid of the smell. But it's a little soapy and you gotta use a lot of water to get it off the walls when you put it on. Some areas may need a scrubby sponge, so I'm going to try scrubbing with the scrubby sponge at some point, see how that works. Oddly enough, the thing that seemed to really work the best as far as immediate results was this thing here. Isn't this crazy? Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. So I got a 2-pack here. I'm going to show you what that's like as well. I washed and rinsed one of these several times. So it went from looking like this and then the other thing is for the ceilings, I'm going to use this to put the actual cleaning fluid on the ceiling for whatever I choose to use. It's got a cardboard tube which I don't like, but if it's just supposed to hold water, it should work pretty good. It's a 1/4 inch thick. So I'm curious how well that's going to work, but that's what I want to use on the ceilings. I might demonstrate it on the wall too, just to show you how that works. Guess that's all I get from it. So let's start with the basic mop first. So we've got a rinse bucket here. So I use the rinse bucket after every swipe. I give it an extra little slow pull to get the last dregs drip out, because the last dregs are usually pretty dirty water. And then I take it up to the wall and apply drip pressure. I'm sure you can see that. I think I'm going to bring this in closer to do the demonstration. I don't think it really shows what I'm doing as well as I could. Now you see it drips. Sponge will squeeze a lot of water out sometimes, and you really have to make sure you go back down immediately and catch a dripping waterfall. Well, you get a real big mess at the end of it. As you can see, depending on the quality of the surface you're dealing with, this paint and whatever surface is below the paint is solid enough that you can't get that hole. It works good on metal, it works good where the paint is well intact, and you just got to keep rinsing it, and keep rinsing it, and keep the mop head as clean as you can possibly get it, so you can pick it up and not leave a bunch of residue behind. And what it is just softening up the move. There's a way to use a sponge where it will actually sop up the mess and leave a clean, residue-free swipe behind it. Inside corners are really tough. Sometimes the mop hangs elevated to the... Sometimes the mop head hangs elevated to the mop, and it becomes handy for hitting these inside corners with. So you see right there, I sopped up a lot of mess. I'm going to stop and get this rinsed out real good again. And then after this rinse, I'm going to put a little bit of my cleaning mixture on the mop head. And rinse out the extra because I want to put some fresh solvent down on this now. Off the remaining bit there. But this spot here could be cleaning up a little better than it's doing. It needs a little scrubbing is what it needs. You can't towel it up and get this effect if it's dry. You have to keep it moist the whole time you're working on it, or you find yourself having to reapply and reapply. This spot here just by way of recommendation that you should use latex gloves when you're doing this. Because these chemicals are still unpleasant to have on your skin, or to eat food with your hands after touching this stuff. Plus what you're cleaning off the walls is very toxic. So it's good to do this. Because even though you think you're being pretty clean, the mop handle can have water run down the handle, like so, and it can get in your hands. It can splash. Eye protection is probably also a good idea to avoid problems from splashing, especially when you use a spray on it, when you use a ZEP. So there you go, that's what it looks like with just the mop. And I'll try one little thing here. scrub it and then sop it up right away. And instantly be able to see whether you're doing any good or not. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be a reasonable surface to accept paint and primer. This is the magic eraser. So as long as you have a clean surface on the sponge that you can put against the wall, it pretty much erases whatever you put on in one swipe. Now they say you can also use it with water, so I'm going to get it with a little bit of water and see if that helps. Let's see how it works when it's wet. It's like it's been activated by the water, and now in one swipe it acts like a sponge that can just suck the crap right off the wall. That's pretty amazing. So there you go. That's the best results and the fastest time. I like to rinse this in cool water before pouring the water on it rather than soaking it in the bucket. When the water penetrates the sponge, you see the whiteness come back to it. And you squeeze that water out, flip the pad over. So this is good for inside corners. It's good for spots that don't want to respond to mopping. Inside corners, does inside corners perfectly. I'd say if you make a mop head out of this material, you might really have something. Look at the fireworks on the wall there. The ZEP product, I'm going to apply this, you're going to see it actually start to melt the soot off the wall. Turn the camera this way a little bit so you can see a little better. So you start high, this is where it's good to have eye protection too. And do like a 3 foot by 3 foot area. with a sponge mop, you can do such a wide area. You don't have to do little bits at a time. Don't let it drip out onto the trim. If you see it dripping, try to catch it. Now here's an area that's not cleaning up so well, so I'm going to give it a little direct pressure with the grain, rubbing the whole into the sponge. Not very close with it. And when you get an area where you got a nice swipe and got it clean, it's good to give maybe an extra swipe in a fresh area to pick up some more soot before you go to the bucket. Get this area wet, get the cleaner working on it, so that when you're ready for it, it'll be dissolved in. It'll be dissolving the soot already. So when the wall is behaving well, and everything's working, you know this doesn't get the perfect results that the sponge, you know this doesn't get the perfect result that the eraser gets. It gets good enough results in a lot faster time. See, I didn't really spray that area when I first began, so let me spray to see if it helps. Dissolve something. Yeah, that made a difference. And I could use the mop to get this trim, but since I got the magic eraser working so well, I think I'm gonna just wipe the walls and leave it at that. But when I'm trying to fine tune the final mopping, the cleaner the water, the better. That's another area that they can spray. The other thing about soot is the farther down the wall you go, the easier it is to clean up. The stuff at the top is a lot harder to deal with than it is down here at the baseboard. That's just a fact of life. Alright, so that's 7x3 area just cleaned using the mop method with the ZEP product. Now I'm going to shovel the rag. Find a clean spot on the rag. So you can't redeposit this soot back on the wall if you're not careful. So don't do that mistake. This rag soaks up a lot of it though. There's your wall. So we're going to get the bottom trim with the scrubby sponge, magic eraser. It gets all this cooked up in one shot. Isn't that perfect? Look how clean that came. So, don't let smoke damaged walls scare you. Don't let yourself get cheated out of a good investment opportunity because of a little black soot on the walls. You can get this stuff off pretty easily. Lysol, ZEP Peroxide. The other thing I didn't show you yet is sanitary wipes. Sanitary wipes also work. The alcohol wipes that Lysol makes cut through it pretty good, almost as good as a sponge. But you don't get a lot of area out of one of the towelettes, and you can't rinse them off and keep using them. So right now, I'm still liking these sponges. If I can mount this to a mop head, I think I could really have something here. Because I just cannot believe how fast this works. And one thing that hurts you for salt, you don't want that inside your body. Just as I suspected, you could just sponge it and then hit it with a rag. If you don't mind going through a lot of rags, you can catch it before it dries and wipe it off the walls that way. So that's what it looks like when it's been used. Put a little water on it though. And like any sponge, the contaminants go off the surface into the inside of the sponge where they can be squeezed out. And so you get the other side. And that's good enough to go. Let's try this on another surface. Where you see me do the ceiling.